What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rainnite Gaming. I'm Rainnite, and we're crushing this meta with Gren Maju. I've been bouncing around in Diamond and Master tier on Dual Nexus. Going in and out of there playing this because whenever we run into Kashtira, we crush Kashtira because we castrate the Kashtira. Unicorn, snip that tip. That's gross. But yeah, this deck absolutely beats down on a lot of the meta right now. And we've added a bunch of cards to help us with back row decks in our extra deck. Side deck. So I'll show that. Right here, these are all the cards that have not changed. You can see it's roughly half the deck. We put in a bunch of new stuff, some old, some new. Let's go through the cards. I'll go over briefly the cards that haven't been changing because you know what most of them do. Obviously, Gren Maju the Aiza. This is your main boy. He's really good. He obviously gets big and he does a lot of damage. So that's what Gren Maju does. I only play the 2 because you don't want to brick on a 3rd. That's basically it. My 1 Synchro Engine card gets into all of our Synchro stuff. Level 2. This is searchable with some cards, and it's also usable if it's in the graveyard. It can come back, or you could use your Beastillas on it. That's why I don't use the Deep Sea Diva combo, just because waters can't really do a ton with. So that's why I stick with him instead of these 2. And then we've got probably the best card in the deck. We've got the Gizmek Orochi. Gizmek is just amazing. Banish 8 from the graveyard, from the hand, in and out, fuels up your Gren Maju, also lets you get into your rank 8 plays. If this was banned, or at 2 even, I don't think the deck would be playable. This is just one of the best cards. The great card that works super good with all of our kaijus. You've got Alpha, the Master of Beasts. He is a big boy, he bounces cards back, and this is one of the cards that just dominates Kashtira because of some other cards we put in the deck. Of course, we've got the 3 kaijus, the Wind Kaiju. I still like using this one, even though you don't have to worry about Barrier Statue anymore. It doesn't have the 3,000 attack that Dogron has, and doesn't have the 3,000 defense like your Gamma Seal. So I do play the 2 Dogron. Dogron is really good because you can give your opponent Dogron, give yourself a butterfly, you can then summon out your Alpha, works really good. Then of course the 1 Gamma Seal, least favorite of the bunch because of his 3,000. We still do our Spider combo, and because of that you can't clear all monsters because you need all the monsters to have less than 2,200 defense. Getting the spells that stayed the same. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber obviously summons out a kaiju to your side, summons out a kaiju to their side, and destroys all monsters on the field. So really nice. It can get ashed, which sucks, and Ash is running around crazy right now, so you may have to bait before you do this. So just know that you have to do that. When you can use for bait, trade in. Trade in you use with like any of your level 8s, and you get 2 cards. If you use your Gizmek, obviously then this is just a Pot of Greed because Gizmek come right out of the graveyard. So that's a free card. Another Searcher, we've got Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is obviously banish 10 to get 2. This is just going to turn your Gren Maju into a 4K beater off just him, so that's a real big positive. You got to keep the Harpy's Feather Duster in the main because there's lots of back row, and our side we are running a bunch more back row hate. The different mind controlling cards, Change of Heart, Mind Control, really good cards. I love playing them. You could play 41 and then add in a triple attack if you wanted to, or you could put Harpies in the side if you're not running into a ton of back row and just have that 3rd mind control. Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial lets you get into your Gizmek, also lets you get into your Plague Spreader Zombie, so you can get into your Synchros or rank 8s, very nice. And of course, Monster Reborn. It's at 1 for a reason. It's really freaking good, especially in this deck. Okay, that is all the cards that have not changed. Then we're going to get into the cards that have changed. And as you can see, we're playing a lot. There are just 3 cards in here that are the same, but we changed the ratios. So starting up, we've got Necroface. Necroface, I believe, is a necessity right now. You could probably play this at 2 almost, just because there's so much banishing going out there. This, if you just normal summon him out, then everything in the banish pile, both sides, will go back to the deck and he gets attack off of it. There's also a banishing effect. If he gets banished face up, then top 5 cards get sent. So that doesn't really come up as much. And remember, he does have to get banished face up. If he gets banished face down, you do not get his effect because the card doesn't technically exist. So really good card. I've had times where Cash has got me down to 3 cards in my deck and have locked down every single one of my zones. I kaiju their zone locker, then I summon this out, game has reset. So really good card. Another one that also works good with Master of Beasts and getting rid of those big boards, Lava Golem. I know people that are playing this in more numbers. I like just playing the 1 because it kind of gives me 7 kaijus. So this guy kind of works as a kaiju, except he takes up 2 and does some burn damage. So he's a really good card. Also with Master of Beasts, you know, this guy's a normal summon, but if you normal summon him out on your opponent's side of the field, you can Master of Beasts alpha him back to your hand and resummon him out. If there's 2 more cards, you can still do that as a second normal summon kind of, so works great. Then we get into our Bestial package. I have cut this down dramatically just because obviously Cash doesn't run basically any darks. So I have cut this down to 4. You're just playing 2 Magnemut, 1 Drewswarm, and 1 of the new Baldrake. If you get him plus another one out, he can obviously negate some stuff from the extra deck, which is really nice. And that's why I run him. I've actually thought about running him at 2 instead of Drewswarm, but I wanted to keep a little bit of variety. The reason I run 2 of the Magnemut, actually I've thought about running 3 still, but I didn't want to get my card cap up, is I have brought back the Limit Dragon. Limit Dragon, if they have a monster of 2,000 attack or more, you get to summon him out for free as a special summon. And guess what? He is a dragon. And this guy gets to search dragons. So if you play him on your opponent's turn, when it comes to your turn, you can get him in your hand, and that just gives you a free level 8, get right into your synchro plays, your synchro or your Xyz plays. So he is just really good to work well with this package. I cut the level 8 and the spell card just because I found it a little clunky of the Bestials. So I did cut that, and it saved me a bunch of money. But you could put that back in if you really wanted to, but I've been moving away from the Bestials just a little bit since the meta doesn't have a ton of darks. So then, because of the meta being crazy with special, summoning a bunch of monsters, you know, you've got Cash, you've got Branded, which obviously is work against Branded. I have started playing 3 Nibiru. Nibiru does work even against Trap Tricks because they tend to spam out monsters. If they don't go into Rafflesia, then you can hit them with this. And then obviously we've got ways of getting rid of a big token or using that big token on our turn. Really good. And I've decided to keep in more hand traps in Perm. You could run Ash Blossom if you wanted to. I decided to do these just because if you do get made to go first, these have the added effect of you can set them and then use them in lockdown zone. So I decided to use these over Ash. And then more back row, just because there's so much back row going on, I do have an in main deck Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is going to do a lot of work for you with either monsters or back row, just because you need that added removal. Okay, we're getting to the extra deck here. I've only changed 3 cards in here from the last time. So we'll get right into that and then we'll zoom through the other cards. So first up, we've got Blackluster Soldier. Blackluster Soldier. I've been messing around with him for a long time. I kind of like him, kind of don't. He works really well with the deck just because if you use level 7 or higher, that's all we run, then he can't be targeted. His normal effects, he can't be destroyed by card effects. After you destroy something, you're usually going to make him a 4,500 monster. So he's a nice towers that, you know, if you get kind of stopped up and you can't go into Xyz, can't go into Synchro, but you've got a couple monsters, you go into him. Sometimes people just can't get rid of him, you know, so he's a nice little stopgap and he can either buy you time or he can win games for you. So really good. Then I do play the one Linkoribo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's just so you don't get locked out by that Cyberus monster they summon to your side of the field. It's the only reason I run him. As soon as they stop running him, I will stop running him. Last new card in here, I'm playing Hydraulic Dragon King of Atum, however you say that. This is really nice because if you do get 2 of your Bestials out, you can use his effect and get one of your Lemon Dragons out and go into an Xyz. And because he's on the field, if you go into another Xyz, if you go into, say, your 100 combo, then you're going to be hitting for 14,000 odd damage with him just because this guy's also on the field. So that's something really nice going into an OTK. Then get into your Xyz monsters that we've always ran. We play Wallow because he's good getting spell cards and because he's a 6, so we can use our Bestial monsters with him. Don't go into him too much. Usually I'll go into him more or I'll just use the damage, but he's a good option if you need him. Obviously, you've got your 100 combo. You go into a Googleon, then you use his effect to get 100, attach 38, then he gets for 9,000 or more, depending if you've got Heraldric on the field or Wallow, or if they have Xyz monsters, because there are a lot of Xyz monsters rolling around right now. So, I mean, I think I hit a guy for 30,000 once because they just had a crap ton of Xyz monsters on the field, and it was really funny. The spider combo, you start off with Thingirsu, pop a card. Then you go into number 83, clear the board. Then you go into 77, hit him in the face. Then you go into Zeus, clear their board. Then if they're still alive, you hit them in the face again, and then you can go back into another Zeus. That's a really good combo. This, I will honestly say, 50% of my matches use the spider combo. It's just an amazing way of clearing an entire board, adding, you've got then a 4 or 5 material Zeus, and if you hit again, you can then go into another material Zeus for another pop, and it's, unless they've got some hard clear for this, they're not going to play through it. Xyz monsters, our last 3 monsters, because we play the Bestials, we have our level 8 Draco Berserker. This is really awesome. It's a nice negate if you're going first, or if you just want to do some extra damage, he gets to swing twice, which is really cool. You could also technically go into him and then go into our rank 10s if you really wanted to. Our rank 10s are all very nice. Of course, we've got Gren Maju with a sword and armor. Chin Yang. He gets big, he can banish, he's got protection. And then our most expensive card in our deck, we've got Baron. Baron obviously is a pop, and he's a negate. So the extra deck, I think, is super solid, and it's only getting better. I think there's a couple weak spots I could eventually clear up, but I haven't really thought how to fix it yet. But right now, this is looking solid. Okay, side deck. Side deck is actually really good. This is maybe the most happy I've been with a side deck in a while. I did love when I used to run Eldritch as a side, but I think this is looking pretty good. So because we're running into so many back row decks, I do play a second Lightning Storm. I think this is really important. You could run 2 if you really want. You could run a second one in the side if you really wanted to. But I don't really like pulling 2 in my main deck, so I think if you side in another one of these and you just run 2, you're good. A real hot card right now, I think you should be running Hey Trunade. You could play this at 3 possibly. I mean, it's really good. It gets past protections. It said it doesn't destroy set spell or traps, just returns them to their hand. So those trap tricks, setting all that stuff, this gets around it and it can really screw them up. One card, I'm just starting to test this out, but I think it's got serious legs to run people over. Lullaby of Obedience. Let's read it here. Pay 2,000 life points and declare one monster card. Your opponent looks at their deck, reveals one of those declared monsters if they have them, and apply one of these effects. Either add it to your hand or you special summon on your side, ignoring their summoning conditions. Yeah, they've got, they're playing Fenrir, you just get a Fenrir. Unicorn, you get a unicorn. You could take some necessary combo piece, or if they're running level 8s, you can just get a level 8. I actually think this is super powerful. I will let you know how it turns out. I just found it, just started playing with it, so I'm gonna have to let you know how it turns out. Then, as you'll notice in the main deck, I did cut Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter is still a great card, except the decks right now that are meta, that are just ruling over people, don't care. They're just like, whatever, man. I mean, it can work against some things like Trap Tricks, maybe Labyrinth, but your Kashtira, they're like, whatever. Branded, whatever. So I put it in the side. It's still one of those cards, if you're going against a deck that can't play through it, you pot it in and it can crush people. I decided to put 3 Ash Blossoms in the side. It can be really good. If you're going against Branded, you want to put an Ash Blossom just to stop some of their cards. It's also good against, some other meta decks. Just a solid card that if you need to add hand traps to your deck to survive, you can add this in. This is my package strictly for Kashtira, and it works gnarly. So we're obviously playing 3 Lancia. Lancia, you throw it out there, and it stops them from banishing. So, they know it's in your side, so they might be able to stop it, but it's a great card. It'll stop their turn. And another one I've started playing, finish out, Chaos Hunter. I started playing this at 3, so when I side in my Lancias, I side in this baby right here. Let's read it together. When your opponent special summons monsters, except during the damage step, you can discard 1 card, special summon this card. Your opponent cannot banish cards. It's a walking Lancia. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not the right levels that we like to use, but it's 2,500, so it's free damage, shuts off the banished, and I think it's pretty good. So that is the deck, folks, and it's been popping off pretty hard. I haven't been able to make it out to any live events, just because, if you've been paying attention to my comments, I did have a heart attack last month and nearly died. But that's why I play the Monster Reborn, brought myself back to life, and I'm here showing you guys some more Gren Maju goodness. But that's it for today, folks. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know what you would change, any kind of cool tech cards that I may not have seen, because I love hearing from you guys. I love seeing what you thought of. I found out about Limit Dragon from my comments. So let me know if you guys have any ideas for changes. Or if you play this deck, what are your favorite cards in it? Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. And stay tuned for more great content. But I will see you guys in the next one. See you.